The family group chat exploded at 9:47 a.m. on a Saturday. My sister Marzana had sent a picture of Mom standing next to a shiny silver Lexus SUV. Mom was holding the keys in her hand, and both of them were smiling really big, like they had just won a prize. Their smiles were so wide that it made me feel something heavy in my chest, something like anger and shock mixed together. The message said, "Finally cleaned up your mess. You're welcome." I was sitting in my office, looking at work papers and numbers on my computer. I was going over quarterly reports, trying to focus, when my phone suddenly started buzzing nonstop. It buzzed, beeped, and flashed messages so fast it made my head spin. I looked down and saw that I had 37 messages in less than 4 minutes. Dad was writing, "About time someone did something responsible." My brother said, "Marzana did what you should have done a long time ago." And Mom wrote, "Marzana, you are so thoughtful. This car is perfect." My fingers twitched, but I didn't type anything. I just stared at the screen. I scrolled slowly through the messages. Marzana had written a very long explanation and included pictures of empty storage units and bank papers showing money. She said she had gone into the 3 storage units I rented in the city. The units cost $12,400 every month, and she sold everything inside to different buyers over the last 2 weeks. She said she sold furniture, old boxes, and random junk I had left there collecting dust. Then she wrote, "I gave Mom $45,000 for the car. I kept the rest of the money for my time and effort." Someone had to be the adult here. My family started praising her. They called her smart, good at business, and responsible. They said I should have done the same thing years ago. Heart emojis, thumbs up emojis, congratulations emojis, all piled up on my screen. But inside me, my jaw was tight. I felt it clench. I had learned something very important over the years. My family always changed the story to make me look bad. They had called my work with storage just playing with other people's stuff, not a real business. They had called my income lucky. They never respected the work I did. I didn't respond to the group chat. Instead, I opened my business app to check my inventory tracking system. I had 347 items stored across 11 clients. The total value of all items was $340,000. Insurance coverage was $500,000. My business was simple but very important. I helped small stores, fancy furniture makers, and people who imported special things keep their items safe. I provided climate-controlled storage and carefully tracked every item. My clients trusted me to keep everything organized and secure. I started 6 years ago with a single artisan furniture maker who needed extra space for his items. Slowly, word spread and more clients came. Referrals and recommendations multiplied. My family had watched me work all this time. They had seen me work weekends, organize deliveries and pickups, and carefully track every item. They even watched me turn down invitations because I had to manage inventory. But they didn't believe it was real work. They called it a hobby, calling it playing warehouse. I remembered Dad saying 4 years ago, sitting in the living room with a bourbon in his hand, "That's not a business. That's paying rent to avoid dealing with clutter. You need a real job." That was when I understood something crucial. My family would never see me clearly. They preferred their own story, the one that made me seem irresponsible and childish. They didn't want to know the truth. I didn't respond to the group chat. First, I called my attorney. His name was Galen. Then I called my insurance broker. After that, I started calling my clients one by one. Each call went the same way. I explained gently, "This is awkward, but there's been a problem with your stored inventory." By 6 p.m., I had scheduled a conference call with all 11 clients for Sunday morning. Galen had prepared documents and contracts. My insurance broker was already processing the claim and marking it as potential theft. Sunday morning came with gray skies and cold wind that made the downtown streets look sharp and uninviting. I asked all the clients to meet at Unit A, the largest of the 3 storage facilities. I arrived at 9:45. Galen was already there with his leather portfolio. 2 police officers arrived at 9:58 because I had filed a theft report on Saturday evening. They needed to document the scene. At 10:03, the first client arrived. Her name was Nymeria, and she owned Lumiere Home, a fancy furniture boutique. She had 42 pieces stored with me. Custom sofas, imported tables, and accent chairs waiting for client deliveries. When she saw the empty unit, her face went pale, like she had seen a ghost. "Where is everything?" she whispered, her voice shaking. "Stolen and sold," I said quietly. "By my sister. I'm so sorry." By 10:15, all 11 clients had arrived. The air inside the storage facility felt thin and strange. 11 business owners stared at empty floors and shelves where hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of items had been just 2 weeks ago. Galen opened his portfolio. "We have documentation on every item," he said. "Contracts, photos, insurance policies, tracking numbers. Everything is legally stored here under Secure Hold Logistics LLC." One officer asked, "Your sister had access?" Galen replied, "No legal access. She somehow obtained entry, possibly by pretending to be part of the business or bribing facility staff. We are investigating." Nymeria's hands trembled as she pulled out her phone. "I have 5 client deliveries scheduled this week," she said. Her voice cracked. "Custom orders they've been waiting for months." Arenzo, who ran a small artisan lighting company, was scrolling through his own records. He had 83 hand-blown glass fixtures stored. Each one took 40 hours to make. That's 3,320 hours of labor gone, vanished in a few days. The weight of it settled over the group. These weren't just things. They were livelihoods, reputations, and trust built over years. Galen added, "We are pursuing recovery, but realistically, many items are already gone. That is why insurance is so important." Fenric, who owned a high-end electronics import business, spoke up. "My inventory alone was worth $87,000. Specialized audio equipment from Japan. Now it's gone." Everyone in the room looked at me. They knew my family had watched me rent storage units for years, but they refused to believe it was a legitimate business. My work was called playing warehouse, and my success was called luck. One police officer finished taking notes while the other photographed the empty units. They documented scuff marks on the floors, bare shelves, and abandoned packing materials Marzana had left behind. The officer asked again, "We need to interview your sister. She bought your mother a $45,000 car with stolen funds. We also need the vehicle information." By noon, the group dispersed. Galen and I sat in my car with the heater on, trying to stay warm against the November cold. "The family group chat is going to explode," I said. "Let it," Galen replied calmly. "You have contracts, evidence, and insurance. They have a stolen Lexus." At 2:34 p.m., the first call came from Marzana. She was hysterical. "The police just came to Mom's house. They are taking the car." "What did you do?" I didn't raise my voice. I said slowly, "You stole $340,000 in client inventory and sold it. That is felony theft. You sold Nymeria's custom furniture, Arenzo's glass fixtures, and Fenric's imported electronics. All documented. All insured. All reported stolen." Silence. Then Marzana whispered, "You didn't ask?" The family group chat came alive at 3:15 p.m. Dad wrote, "What the hell is going on?" My brother wrote, "Police at Mom's? Lexus taken." Mom wrote, "Marzana is being investigated." I posted a single message. Marzana stole and sold $340,000 in business inventory from 11 clients. Felony theft charges filed. Vehicle purchased with stolen funds seized. Do not contact me. I muted the chat. 43 messages arrived in the next hour. I didn't read them. That evening, I sat alone in my apartment. The city lights glowed outside my windows. I thought about everything. 6 years of running a real business, while my family said it was a hobby. Birthday dinners cut short, job offers they sent me always saying, "This time a real job." Every family gathering where I explained deliveries, client meetings, inventory coordination, dismissed as playing warehouse. The ghost ledger appeared in my mind. It was a mental list of all the costs my family had taken from me. The erosion of my confidence, the moments of disbelief, the silent judgment that made me doubt myself. Dad's Thanksgiving toast to Marzana 3 years ago. May she inspire certain family members. My mother's advice last Christmas. You're 34. Find a stable job. This storage thing is cute, but you need security. All the little moments added up. Every birthday dinner, every interrupted conversation, every family comment that made me feel small. 6 years of dedication, professional success, and client happiness, unrecognized. But now the ledger was settled. My family had stolen more than inventory. They had stolen years of my confidence. That debt could not be repaid. The procedural machinery moved with surprising speed. Monday morning, my insurance broker confirmed the claim was approved pending investigation results. Each client would be reimbursed for documented losses within 30 days. Tuesday, detectives interviewed Marzana. She had gained access to the storage units by telling facility management she was my business partner handling an emergency. She showed them my driver's license photo, which she had copied from family pictures, and forged my signature on access forms. Facility records showed 4 visits over 2 weeks, each time removing more inventory. Wednesday brought handwriting analysis. The results were 94.3%, certain the signatures were forged. The facility's insurance was now involved, and their liability was significant. Thursday, the district attorney's office called. They were pursuing charges: theft over $100,000, forgery, and fraud. Felony convictions could carry 2 to 5 years each. I leaned back in my chair, thinking about everything that had happened. My business had been real. My clients trusted me. I had worked hard for 6 years, building something meaningful, and my sister had tried to destroy it in a few weeks. But now the law was on my side, my clients would be reimbursed, and justice would be pursued. I felt a strange calm settle over me. The family group chat would continue to explode, but I would not read it. I had my proof. I had my clients. I had my business. And most importantly, I had the quiet knowledge that I had done everything right, even if my family had refused to see it. I closed my laptop and looked out the window. The city lights shimmered like tiny stars, and for the first time in years, I felt that my work, my effort, and my dedication mattered. My family had tried to rewrite reality, but reality had a way of showing itself in the end. On Friday morning, Marzana's lawyer called Galen. "My client wants to give back the rest of the money and try to get smaller charges," the lawyer said. Galen replied, "Your client spent or gave away $85,000 from selling $340,000 worth of property. She has $40,000 left. She still owes $300,000. How does that add up?" The lawyer said, "The family could help." Galen said, "The family is not responsible. Your client is responsible for this herself." The lawyer's voice got serious. "These are big crimes. Your client could go to prison because of what the family did not understand." Galen said, "Your client stole from 11 businesses. She faked papers. She bought a car with stolen money. She did fraud. The law is clear." Then the call ended. By Friday evening, everything became clear. The insurance would pay some money for the businesses that lost stuff, but they wanted all the money back from Marzana. That was $340,000 plus lawyer fees. The storage place was suing her too because their reputation and insurance were hurt. They wanted $12,500. Marzana's mom had taken her Lexus car to sell it at an auction. The money from that car wouldn't cover all the debt. The math was scary. Marzana made $52,000 every year as a marketing worker. She had a condo with $180,000 still owed on it. Her retirement savings had $34,000. Even if she sold everything she owned, she wouldn't have enough money to pay half of what she owed. The first hearing happened on a Tuesday morning in February, 3 months after she had emptied the storage units. The courtroom smelled like old wood and recycled air. Marzana sat next to her lawyer. She was 20 pounds lighter, wearing a gray suit that was too big for her. She looked worried and tired. The prosecutor showed all the proof step by step. Every piece of paper, every photo, every record was like a small exciting moment that showed she did the crime. First, they showed the papers she faked. A handwriting expert explained how the strokes, pressure, and pauses in the writing showed it was fake. The expert explained it slowly, so everyone could see the difference between real and fake writing. Second, they showed security camera videos from the storage place. Marzana's car was there, and the time matched the records of who entered the storage units. This showed she went there many times, not just once, and took things carefully. Third, bank records showed $85,000 went in 3 deposits over 5 days. She tried to hide it by making smaller deposits so no one would notice. That showed she was smart and knew exactly what she was doing. Fourth, Galen made a 47-page list of everything sold, every client who lost stuff, and every dollar stolen. The judge looked at it carefully. It was like a big map of all the things Marzana had done. Fifth, text messages between Marzana and the buyers showed she wanted a quick sale and was flexible on price. That proved she knew she had to sell things fast, like she was in a hurry to get rid of the evidence. Sixth, she bought the Lexus car 48 hours after the last deposit. That showed she spent the stolen money very quickly. It was a direct link between stealing the money and buying something for herself. Seventh, a woman named Nymeria said how her business was hurt. She lost clients and money. She explained how she felt sad and stressed when her clients left, and how it was hard to fix her business. Eighth, the storage manager said Marzana was confident, professional, and lied about having power of attorney. She even said someone in the family was in the hospital. This showed she planned the whole thing carefully and tricked people. Marzana's lawyer said she didn't know it was wrong and that it was a family mistake, not a crime. The judge looked at the handwriting. She knew she didn't have permission, he said. That's why she faked it. The judge looked at the inventory lists. This wasn't cleaning old boxes. She took business stuff carefully over many visits. He looked at the timeline. She sold things fast, gave money to family, and bought a car. That shows she knew it was wrong and tried to hide it. He looked at the storage manager's testimony. She lied about an emergency and said she had power of attorney. That shows she planned it. The judge said bail was $75,000. Marzana couldn't pay it. She spent 4 days in county jail. She felt scared and alone, not knowing what would happen. Then her dad borrowed money from his house to pay for her bail. The trial was set for May. In March, I got a letter from Marzana's mom. It was on fancy cream paper, and her handwriting shook a little. We didn't know. We thought you were wasting money. We thought Marzana was helping. Please, she's your sister. Can't you stop this? I read it twice in my kitchen while sunlight came through the window. The answer was simple, no. This wasn't about punishing Marzana. It was about consequences. 11 businesses lost real things. Nymeria lost clients. Arenzo's workers lost months of work. Fenric had insurance problems and disputes with vendors. Marzana had broken many laws on purpose. The justice system was just doing its job. I didn't reply to Mom's letter. In April, Marzana agreed to a plea deal. 3 felonies became 2. If she paid back the money every month for 15 years, she wouldn't go to jail. Her wages would be taken 40% each month. Her condo went into foreclosure. She couldn't pay the mortgage anymore. She moved back to her parents' house. She felt embarrassed and sad. The family stopped posting pictures on social media. Their summer vacation to Lake Tahoe was canceled. Dad had to work 5 more years to pay back the money he borrowed for the bail. Mom called again. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail saying, "You've destroyed this family." I deleted it without listening. I changed my business. I added electronic locks to the storage units. Only people with special access could get in. I used blockchain to track every item, so no one could cheat. I hired a full-time manager. 3 new clients joined after reading about the case. They wanted someone who would protect their property in court. In June, I went to a logistics conference in San Diego. I gave a talk about security. There were 240 people. They asked smart questions and treated my business as serious and important. I stayed for dinner and watched the sunset over the bay, all orange and gold. The sky looked like a painting, and the water sparkled. A colleague from Chicago asked about expanding to their city. Another from Portland wanted to refer clients. My family group chat had 37 new messages. I didn't open it. There's a psychology idea called the gambler's fallacy. People think if they keep putting coins into a slot machine, eventually they'll win. But the math doesn't change. The slot machine can be rigged. I had spent 6 years building my business, protecting my clients, and managing hundreds of thousands of dollars in inventory. My family's respect never came because their slot machine was rigged. They never intended to give anything back. I understood the difference. I deleted the family chat, blocked 3 numbers, and changed my emergency contact from Mom to Galen. I also updated my bank accounts to give money to a scholarship fund for first-generation business owners. Now the storage units hold new inventory for 18 clients. My yearly income is $480,000. My business has a name people in the industry know. I built a reputation for protecting clients and being reliable. The family has a daughter they never really knew. They spent 6 years refusing to see her. Now they never will. From the 3 things I fought to protect, my clients, my business, and my future, my new life begins. The balance is settled. The ledger is closed. And I am finally completely free. I feel proud and strong because I did the right thing, protected people's property, and learned that consequences matter.